Welcome to the third episode of That Startup Guy, the podcast where we talk with startup founders and we learn their perspective on different specific industries. On today's episode, we have Mr. Ranjit, the Chief Innovation Officer and co-founder of Biodimensions Private Limited. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you guys for setting up this wonderful discussion, and I'm happy to meet you all through this platform.
So I would like to straightly dive to the topic. How did biotechnology come to your life? Because I think it's a really niche subject. As we see right now, startups are based on technology, fintech. How did biotechnology come to your life? In conclusion, that now you're also developing a startup in it.
Yeah. So yeah, decades ago, there was only two major profession that comes into every parent's mind, and they wanted their children to pursue in that particular profession. One is engineering, and another one is a medical doctor, right? So fortunately and unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to pursue my a dream of medical because I didn't score that much. I'm an average student, and always wanted to do something related to the medical field. So that's my childhood dream, I would say. And when I didn't score that much, like literally down, and based on my relative suggestions, and that time Google was not that prominent, and personal computers was there in very few households, right? So we didn't get a chance to search for those things. It completely depends on relatives and what your teachers said. So there I got a chance to know about a domain called biotechnology, which would indirectly contributes to the medical segment. So with a blindfolded hope, I joined the biotechnology, and with no regrets. I don't have any regrets of joining biotechnology because now I'm staying in the same dream which I dreamt in my childhood days.
Yeah, absolutely. So after joining biotechnology, when did you actually plan out that okay, now I will switch my job, because you also worked in a few firms before this? So when did you think about switching your job and actually starting this startup? What was the whole process and when did it all start?
Right. So I would say it was a journey. It's not like it happened in a single night. So my co-founders are buddies. We studied together, and we studied bachelor's and master's together. And when I completed my higher secondary in 2010, I joined the college which is in the rural side of Tamil Nadu, which is KSR, and we always had, being a friends, we used to have a discussion of starting an organization which would create an impact in people's life, right? Which would change something that is being normal, right? In that way, like all our conversation was there that time, right? We didn't believe in the concept of getting into a job and your life will be settled, right? And that was the mantra given by my college staffs and my college management and whoever I see, like there's you're studying engineering, you'll get a job, get into a job, and you will have a settled life, right? That's a mantra, that's the way they show, but we didn't stick to that mantra and the way. So as I mentioned, like all our conversation revolves around that, creating something, right? So all those 13 years our conversation was like that, and those time, like it was not like now. Startup is something like crazy people does, right? And people don't accept it also, and they say like failures are more than the success, right? And in the last 5 to 10 years only it got changed and it got into a shape. So when we say our idea to other people, saying like we want to do a startup, we want to create something, we want to innovate something, then the people will say, so you don't have brain or what, like literally that relates to the thing, right? So they say like I don't have a brain or what, go and get a job, you'll earn handsomely and live a life peacefully. That's the way people outside tells. And days passed, years passed, but our conversation was still remains to the core of creating something, right? During the pandemic time, like we got a guts, I would say, like we got a thought process of starting something, So we brainstormed a lot for months and months. We brainstormed. We actually found a problem in our sector because we all worked in industry. So we actually found a problem there, and we went on to the field and we asked our customers whether the problem really exists or not, right? Based on their inputs and based on the conversation, we got the solid yes, the problem exists, and that problem indirectly influencing the way the people lives, especially the drugs they are consuming and the personal care products that they are using. So that's a problem we found yes we want to pursue, and after the critical brainstorming we found a solution for it, and we started this organization Biodimension, aiming to completely replace the gold standard animal experiments from the drug development and in the cosmetic testing.
So right now, what we were telling about that you started this startup with your college buddies. So I would like to debate on one point which you talked. Recently, I just attended a talk from the founder of Just Dial, V. Krishnan. He said that never start a startup with your college friends, because maybe you won't be able to take the tough call. Sometime you need to tell them, okay, buddy, you are wrong. We need to change our path. So it's not advisable to start this company with your friends. Do you agree on it, or what's your take on it?
Now, I don't agree with it because it depends on people, right? No matter in what relationship with them, right? For example, like as the Just Dial founder said, don't start your startup with your friends. The reason because I found a reason for that. The reason because you will find a comfort zone there, right? In order to achieve something, you need to move away from the comfort zone, right? But what if your friends or your partner giving the discomfort zone, saying like, the way you are doing is wrong, because friends doesn't mean always need to accept the thought what you are putting it forward, and the friend must need to decline it and need to suggest a proper way for it, right? What if that friend comes to you as a partner, comes to you as a co-founder, right? You have a pessimist and you have an optimist, right? So all your ideas will be validated by conversation with them, right? So that's the reason might be the Just Dial founder must say it. You will find a comfort zone with your friends. So that's the reason you cannot progress. That's the reason you should not start a startup with the friends. But if the friends are real critic and if the friends are really care for the vision, definitely that is a good choice. There is no denying that.
So you just need a good friend who would appreciate you on your high, and also, uh, you know, take the tough call and tell you that okay, you are wrong.
True, true, true. That's what needed, right? Finding a co-founder outside your network is a difficult task, right? So if you're speaking with someone for first 2 to 3 months, like they will be very nice to you, and sometimes they may pretend like the wavelength is sinking, but to the actual fact, when it comes to money, they will show the true face, and when it comes to the heavy load of work, they'll show the true face, right? But what if you know a friend for decades and he knows your in and out and you knows his in and out skills and capabilities, so that you guys sit together and you guys sit and work together based on your capabilities and skill set and figuring out a solution for that particular problem. Definitely it will turn into a wonder, right? So that's the major thing. Finding a co-founder outside your network and finding a co-founder inside your network, that's the difference, right? Find the right person. Overall, that's the key message I'd say. Find the right person.
Okay, so just got my answer. So as of now, just tell me that what does biodimensions do? What are the products and whom do they cater? What is the idea of biodimensions?
Yeah. So I want to put forward your question and to you all. So do you guys believe in the concept of recreating an organs in lab? Is it possible?
Yeah, so personally, I feel that it's a great initiative, it's a great move, unless and until it does not affect the human revolution, I guess. Because recently we saw that artificial intelligence just generated a video wherein it showed the human revolution, that okay, from monkey, human evolved, and after human, the AI showed humanoid being formed, and slowly and steadily the whole human was turned into a robot. So I feel that we need to take care that those days never come. Otherwise, I feel it's a really revolutionizing idea.
Thanks for the point. Like, biodimension is actually doing that. So we are creating organs in the lab. with the help of biofabrication technology and the tissue engineering techniques. So our products are mainly human organs. For example, our first product is human skin, which is the largest organ, and we are also having series of products in our line. For example, vaginal epithelium and also mini liver. So these are the products that we deal, and we cater that mainly for drug testing and cosmetic testing purpose. So our vision is to be an organ manufacturer, and we are laying a solid foundations for that, and our products completely deals with drug testing and cosmetic testing right now, but in future, near future, we want to step into the clinical application part of the lab made humans organs. So that's what we do.
Started. Yeah, so once you have got the idea, you also knew that what you are going to make. You also previously worked in this industry, so you know the technology involved behind it. But how did you figure out that you how you will manufacture the product? Because you started with human skin, then okay, what was the process, that where will it be manufactured, how will it be distributed, what was the process behind figuring it out?
So again, this comes with a joint effort. That's right. Understanding the business, creating a business model of out of your passion, out of your skills, right? So we are three co-founders. So I'm the techno-commercial guy. So I know the technology and I know the commercial part. And other co-founders are pure core technology people, and that is where the combination comes. So I know where the product will fit into, and they know how to make it, right? So these two combinations set it out and to make a proper deep technology company, right? Ours is a deep technology company. We need to figure out which technology works, and we need to figure out how the technology can be sold, right? This was taken care by us, and before starting the organization, that's the groundwork we have did, right? And that is what I'm telling to people who is having an idea. Just move from self-empathy to empathy. That is a crucial step. What we feel right is wrong outside, right? So coming circle back to your point. So how you figured out how to manufacture it and also how to sell it. So that's the thing, right? So this involves a deep research. If you look at the technology, we are all scientists, right? We know how the human cells works, how we can manipulate the cells to get a desired product, and that involves a lot of research and a lot of practical exposures to make it possible, right? So we have worked in industry for 6 years, right? In those period, we have learned that, and we incorporated it here.
Yeah, so I feel that because you worked in the industry for much time, you figure out the process, and therefore it was easier, like relatively easier for you to figure out those things.
Yeah, especially in case of biotech, it's not like there are a lot of tech companies comes when it comes to information technology. A lot of apps or lot of new products, new applications and softwares comes into place in a matter of 6 months or 1 year, right? But behind the scene, a lot of efforts being made, right? In the case of biotech, it is not possible within 6 months, right? It takes 6 years, it may take 10 years, or it may take 60 years. The perseverance and the organization goal is much important to achieve that.
So right now we are catering D2C,
B2B.
yeah, B2B. So how do you price the product?
That is a difficult task.
Yeah, that's tough. So how do you, because I think that for pricing you need to time the market, you need to really price it well. So how do you price it?
So, pricing your product, that needs a lot of calculations. So, not only, I'm not talking about Biodimensions product, in general, I'm talking. So, if you have a product, right, you have to price it in a more competitive way. Coming to our product, Biodimension product, there is no such Indian product available in the market. So, it is completely import dependent market, right? So, if you look at the competitor's price, that is huge, huge, and which our customers are struggle to buy and do the things. So we have to position our product in a competitive way, so that they should not feel like it is a cheap one, and they should not feel like it is an expensive one, right? It should cater exactly what they need, right? And that is how we priced our product, and that is how we are selling it, and people are accepting it. Yeah.
So after you have figured out the pricing, whole process. how do I feel that it's a resource heavy business. So how do you fund the business? Where is the money coming in to actually put it into the manufacturing and all?
Right. So most people, when it comes to startup, when it comes to entrepreneurships, most people thinks of venture capital funds, angel investments, millions,
Fancy
billions,
terms.
fancy terms. But in the real fact, I would say like we started this business with zero investment, right? We were working and we left the job and we came here and we started this, right? So literally we taken care of our personal expenses. We have savings for that only, and we have few money for contributing to the product development, right? And as I mentioned, like it was not like a decades before. In just 5 years back, or even in 10 years back, there is no proper grants, there is no proper funds to support a startups. But if you look at the real time scenario, if you look at the real world scenario now, even if you want to develop an app, there are series of funds and series of grants available, starting from 2 lakhs to 20 crores. So that's the grant value which government is offering right now. The only thing is like what they want is like innovative idea, which would change something in the normal, right? And which would improve the normal and to become a new normal, right? So government is having enough budget for it, and in fact they are finding hard now, not now, finding hard before to find a proper company to put that money in. But now a lot of applications are coming, a lot of new innovations are coming, and the government is finding so easy to put the money and get converted into product. So as an entrepreneur, you should not think about money. You should think about your product. If your products comes well, the money will come from any angle, right? In the same way, we started our organization, like saying, like let's focus on the product. Whatever the things comes, that will benefit the product development. So here I would like to quote the which the concept which I solidly believe. I believe in the concept of secret. I hope like few people read the book The Secret. Yeah. What you throw to the universe, that will come back to you, right? As a company, what we throw in is like we want a product, right, which suits the customer requirement. So we focused on the product, and the funds came because our idea is valid, and the work we are doing is valid, and the end product will be valid, right? So the funds came through government grants and certain funds which comes under CSR grants, and in the small funds we got. So that would contributed our growth, and in that way like we established the biodimension.
So now quickly just give me 5 things which an entrepreneur should have, or a normal guy who wants to start, because I think that right now entrepreneurship is sexy and like everyone just wants to quit their job and start a startup, print money, billions. And but what are the basic 5 things they need in order to start or at least develop a mindset?
First thing is like perseverance, right? Second thing is like patience. Perseverance and patience are two different things, right? Second thing is patience. Third thing is like time management, right? And the fourth thing is like have a good team, have a good network, right? And the fifth thing is like you should have a solid idea, a purposeful idea. I say solid idea, like a purposeful idea which serves something, or like which contributes something to the society. These are the 5 things you must have, right? When I say perseverance, it is not always like this, right? It is not always smooth, right? So your journey will be like rough and tough, right? And most importantly, I want to say is like don't split entrepreneurship with employment, because both are same, right? Employment and entrepreneurship is same. The only thing is like here you're working for some company's vision, and here you're working for your company's vision. That's a different. This 5 points applicable to both. It depends on you to take which one you are choosing it, right? So these 5 things are most important thing if you are taking an entrepreneurship journey, because it will be always like ups and downs. It will not be like always up. You will face a lot of downs, and you need to have a patience saying like yes, I can get up again, yes, I can do it again. So that patience is needed and perseverance is needed, right? And the third thing is time management. most of the time people thinks like, I don't have a time, right? So if you calculate, if you make it in a proper way, you will have an ample amount of time which can be spent for your personal things, right? Lack of time management results in compliance, right? Lack of time management results in failure. So this third thing, you guys need to be very careful when you're starting this entrepreneurial journey. And the fourth one is a team. See, this is my third startup, right? The first two startups failed because I don't have any proper team. Because I'm the single founder, I can't manage everything, and I need a proper team. And finding that right team was the biggest problem for me. And fourth main, that team, you should find a right person to do the right job, right? And the fifth one, a solid idea which should serve something to the society, right? If you don't have an idea which doesn't contribute to the society, I personally believe there is no purpose in it, right? There is no purpose of following it. The major purpose is money only, right? So money should not be the criteria if you want to do entrepreneurship. Money comes from everywhere. Even person is getting millions if he works for someone, right? So money should not be the major criteria if you are doing entrepreneurship.
Yes, I feel that I agree with the 5 points you mentioned. You also told that you had two startups before this one. So now, can you just quickly tell that what were those two companies about? And now, when you look back at them, what do you feel that if you might have done correctly, they would have succeeded?
So yeah, that's what the last two startups taught me different things. The first one is like when I was doing my masters in VIT only. So when I was doing my masters here, like I was intrigued by the concept of entrepreneurship and things. Without knowing anything, right? Without doing proper research on the market, I jumped into it, right? So I was not in a position to pump money because I'm not from that background. I'm from the family. My father is a farmer and my mom is a housewife. I'm not like rich family. Like I'm a lower middle class family, right? I cannot afford loss, but the passion intrigued me, right? I started my first company. It's a edutech company. Exactly the time Byju's was started, right? So the company name is Expert Arena. So I started with one of my co-founder. Without thorough understanding of the market, we stepped into it, and that kicked us back, right? And that's the first mistake I have done in my first startup, which I have corrected it now. And the second one, without a team, I stepped into the business. The second startup was like a travel startup. So immediately after my masters, I had done it. Yeah. Then during my masters time only, like lot of chemical changes happened in my brain. I want to do startup. I want to do this, do this, do this. Again, the mistake. I done the mistake. So without proper team, I entered into that particular project or particular product. It's a travel-based startup. The self-empathy to empathy, which I said before, right? What you feel right, it must not be right outside, right? In the same thing, in my second startup, travel startup, so I thought like, I can revolutionize the way the people travels. I can do these things. I can do that things. But in fact, people doesn't need it, right? And I don't have the expertise to develop the platform itself. I'm a biotech guy, right? I don't know the coding, programming, web, all those things. I need a right co-founder for it, but I don't have a right co-founder for it, right? And I can talk, but actually it should work, right? So without writing, the second startup failed. And after work, getting an experience in the work, I realized what are the mistakes I have done, what are all the things to be corrected, and with that corrective actions, I started this third.
Yeah. So, what is your take on this? That after passing out from college, should a student or a person should directly start a startup, or should he or she have some experience of working in some other firm for some time to gain experience? What's your take on it?
Yeah, college time, we feel like whatever we do is right, right? So we may don't know like what exactly happening in the industry, how to work in general. That is the way, right? How to work. We blindly think like working for 12 hours will result in something. It is not the case, right? Even if you work for 2 hours in a dedicated way, it will result in a very good output, right? That we don't know when we are in college, right? We will be like, more inclined towards the academic perspective, not in like an industry perspective. When you move out of the academic and when you work with people, when you understand like how the big firms are working, then you will realize what has to be done. Because when I say experience, when I say industry experience, it doesn't mean about the process or the product. It about your self, you know, learning and self improvement, right? When you work with top organizations, you will come to know how the organization structure would be, how the management works, how they are making a decisions, how they are finding a path to improve their organizations. That would help you in a much better way when you start your company. And that doesn't mean like, immediately after college or doing college studies you should not start up a company or not. Doesn't mean in that, because the things are way changed, right? Way changed means like, 5 years back it was not like that, right? Now student startups are hitting the market like anything, right? Because the ecosystem was created. Before that ecosystem was not there. Before the ecosystem was like, a company means like, the rich people, or like people who can able to take a loan, or people who worked for years after savings. It was like that. But now it is not like that. The ecosystem was created. You have a pool of mentors, and you have a pool of advisors, and you have a pool of industrialists sitting with you and ready to talk with you and ready to help you to take your projects to the next level. So I would say the ecosystem got created, and now students are leveraging on it, so that whatever things we faced may not they need to face now, right? So that's how the thing is like, if you work for someone, you will understand the process, you will gain a knowledge, and you can incorporate in your startup. Now the ecosystem is created. Now the industrialists, the advisors, mentors are sitting with you, and they are telling their experience, making it, grooming it, and delivering it to you, so that you can fine tune your product.
Yeah. So you did your bachelor's and master's. So do you feel that the college environment matters for your life or your startup? What's your take on it?
A lot, a lot. So it is not like, I'm saying like my bachelor's college is not that good or something. It's not like that. So I really owe to VIT University. The reason because it's like the mindset, right? Every people have different mindset, and it depends on where you are, right? If you are with bunch of people who talks about history, you will have a mindset to know more about the history, right? If you are with people who's having a different mindset of trading, or like, stock market, so your mindset will align according to it. It depends on where you are, right? So when I was doing my bachelor's, like my mindset was, I was taught, and the curriculum was like that, right? You have to be prepared to get a job, right? You have to be prepared to get into a higher education, right? So that extra thing wasn't there. But if you look at the VIT's ecosystem, even now they are continuing the same thing in a much improvised way. That's what I said. That's why I said like, I go to VIT, because they are having the ecosystem for innovation. When I stepped into it, and when I see the people here, I was intrigued by their that burning, what to say, fire inside them of doing something, innovating something and creating something. So that really intrigued me of taking that forward, because I have that deep in my mind, but I didn't get a chance to show it out. After seeing the people here, I got a chance. I got a mindset of doing the thing and getting that burning fire outside, and that resulted in my first startup. Right, immediately after joining, 3 months I started that. Right, so after seeing the people and after seeing that innovation ecosystem here, right? So that's a difference. That is the first college which I studied in the rural place, because I don't want to say like, they are not that thing, but their ecosystem is something, okay, and here the ecosystem is different. So it matters where you are and whom you are with.
Hmm. So coincidentally, we just had, I just remember last episode we had this tech founder, Wi-Fi, you may know him. He also said the somewhat same thing that college provides a sort of platform for you to enhance your skills, because you get a group of people who are as much as passionate as you want to be and have desire in yourself, but maybe you weren't able to show it because you didn't have this platform. Now you have it. So again, moving apart from this whole topic, just tell that what's going on right now in the global scene in this industry of biotechnology. What are the new innovations, and what's the outline?
Pandemic taught us what? Before pandemic and after pandemic, that is how we need to say. It is not only for the biotechnology but for all the sectors. Before pandemic, being in healthcare sector, being in life science sector was considered as like a sin, because not much good salary, not much innovations are promoted, right? The companies aren't welcomed that much, not much investment, nothing happened. Few. But after the pandemic, people realized, right? Something we need to focus is life science and healthcare, because one virus took the entire world, right, and kept it in a standby mode, right? So the investors, the governments had a different opinion, and really they wanted to promote the life science and healthcare ecosystem in their own countries. So that helped the companies like us, that helped the individuals like us wants to do some innovation in the life science and biotech sector. So that's what, like, now after pandemic, a lot of new opportunities came, a lot of people welcomed new innovations in the healthcare sector. And before pandemic, it is all about convenience, right? If some app is making your life so easy, invest it, right? If some app or like some product making you food or like groceries or whatever in a 5 minutes, invest it. But pandemic shook it, and that showed a real value where the innovation should be. It's not about the convenience, it's about your alma matters. That's the thing.
Hmm. Yes, I just don't remember who said this, but a cool founder once said that if you are really wishing to jump into the startup scene, if you are really wishing to give it your energy, your time, then just don't make another application which would take up 50 MBs on your phone and would just lie there. Make something which would revolutionize human nature, which would really create an impact. So again, moving apart from that, what is your take on this Elon Musk and Neuralink concept, the product which he is trying to develop with his team? What's your idea on it?
In my opinion, nothing is right and nothing is wrong, right? So development of AI is not by a single person, it's by a group of people, right? And people have different opinions about AI. In some people says, like, they are making their work smooth and they are helping to make the decisions. And some people says, like, as you mentioned, humanoids or other form of life is getting its space in the world. So everything has a right and wrong, right? It depends on individual morality how to use it. It depends on people how to take it, right? Neuralink has a positive side and a negative side, right? And it's us people to choose which side we want, right? It's us to frame regulations to how to use that, right? Whatever the idea, in my mind, whatever the idea, it should contribute something to the society in a good way, right? And in the good way, it also has some bad phase behind. People should not explore it. So creating an awareness and creating a morality to the individuals will help the technologies to grow and helps the technologies to help the mankind. Yeah.
Hmm. So I think we are at the end of this podcast. This is one question which I would like to ask you, which we asked every our guest, right? Which is that this is what I'm asking to you. uh, just separate yourself from every identity. You are the co-founder and all. I'm just asking you, Mr. Ranjit, that you are building a startup, and you said that there are more failures than more successes. Then how do you deal with those failures? What is the thing you do when you hit that lower ground?
If some door is open and some door is closed, uh, you know there is an opportunity somewhere lies far, so go for it, right? There is not necessarily there need to be a one door for your success. There are other doors, and I personally feel if I get rejected, or like if I didn't get the right result from the work I had done, I always think something better is going to come, or something best is going to come. So you stay calm and keep focused on your work, things will come into your place. That's what I mentioned the quote, the secret, right? What you throw to your universe, that will come back. I strongly believe in it. All right.
Yeah, so just keep calm and keep doing your
Keep
work.
doing your work. And I just want to mention what MS Dhoni said. Focus on your deliverables, right? That is what you have to do. Focus on your deliverables. Even the failure comes, it will be a great success in the next time, right? The failure must be this much, but the success will be like this, right? So stay calm.
So thank you for giving your time on the show. We really look up to you for that, and I really appreciate that you put out your busy schedule and came on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a really wonderful time.
Yeah, thank you.